stories that connect us to ourselves and each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid, wild colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. And now, exclusively on KGRA Radio, I give you your host for Soul Wanderings Radio. Here's AJ.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to yet another Wandering here on KGRARadio.com, heard throughout our universe every Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And each week we get to wander with a new guest about their authentic journey through this human experience. So delighted to have you here with us for yet another live show this evening. I am AJ Rasmussen. I am an owner and manager of a beautiful heart-centered healing space called Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit. And it's there where I get to assist others in their personal journeys. I am also your host of Soul Wanderings. Welcome, welcome, Wanderers. So happy to have you here with us tonight. If you guys are listening in on your phone or computer, make sure you hop on over to the Listener Lounge. I'm hanging out there and would love for you to be there with myself and other wanderers. As always, you can do that by going to kgraradio.com/chat. The chat room is a great place if you guys want to ask any questions. Head over there because they'll get asked as I can grab them. And tonight is no exception. You'll want to ask questions because we're going to be chatting about consciousness. I have welcomed back two of my favorite people. I'm sure some of you are very familiar with them as they've been on the show several times before. We have Natalie Peace, who is a life and grief coach and a facilitator who brings awareness into our experiences. She's committed to showing the real side of grief in all its stages and passionate about assisting you with your humanness. And Mandi Thomas is a channeler. She's a card reader. She facilitates groups of all ages in self-inquiry. Collective evolution and connection is her soul's work, passion, and purpose. And she has this thing about the shadow self and the dark side of humanity that she likes to help people with. So, welcome, ladies, back to Soul Wanderings.
Why, thank you. Thank you.
I love that you guys are showing up again. We've had emails, comments, whatever it looks like. People like what you guys have to talk about. And I feel like it's because, just like your class, Get Real with Yourself, you guys do have a way of getting real. The title is No Accident. And in that, we thought, again, by request, to have somewhat of a open dialogue conversation about getting real with the topic of get real in consciousness. And when you guys teach your classes, Mandi channels, Natalie facilitates the information, and things tend to come up for your students, for your clients in these classes, and you're able to work with them. Where we can't do that necessarily over the radio, we definitely can talk about whatever is going to come up through the channeling, and Natalie will facilitate that information. And I'll ask the quote-unquote student questions if they come up, and we will have this open dialogue conversation. And this is why I want you guys to join in on the conversation and head over to the chat room, because you'll have questions that will pop up. I just know it, because this is what happens when we have these kinds of classes in our space at Vibes. So that's what the show is all about tonight. So exciting. Is there anything you guys would like to share before we get started in this getting real in consciousness conversation?
It's in the beginning of all of our classes, we say, this is unscripted. We do not have notes. It's just fly by our, I think maybe it's best, fly by the seat of our previously developed connection with universe spirit, kind of thing. We've spent a while developing our personal connections, and I feel like that's what we launch from whenever we're in this space to get real. So it's super cool. I'm excited to see what comes up.
I am too, because I have no idea. I'm just here hanging out with you ladies tonight, and I will be playing the human advocate, my humanness.
You're like, and what about this? What about that?
Yes, as I do, as I like to ask questions to dig deeper, because I love swimming in those depths, as most of our listeners do. Mandi?
Yes.
She just sits here with this huge smile, and you never know what she's thinking or what she's going to say, and then she starts spewing a bunch of this channeling stuff. And you're like, whoa, that was amazing. I feel like something like that's about to happen.
It feels like something like that might start to happen, yeah.
Awesome. So we were going to pick a topic, a random topic that you guys have already discussed in the Get Real with Yourself class. Instead, you guys thought it would be really great to just talk about consciousness in general, because this is a conversation we could have for several hours, any of us. And it leads to different paths, to different conversations, which is what Soul Wanderings is all about, the wandering. And when you guys decided to talk about getting real in consciousness or with consciousness, what was your intent with coming up with that as your general idea or theme for the show? Why consciousness?
Why not? What I'm thinking about right now is there's this, it's getting really popular. This idea of raising awareness, raising consciousness. Are you awake? Have you awoke? All of these new age terms about it, spiritual terms, religious terms about being self-realized, finding Zen. It's in every language and every walk of life. I feel like people are striving for something outside themselves or inside themselves. It's the same, I guess, outside and inside. My idea about it was those that feel like they have arrived. I see that quite often, that there are people that have thought they have arrived to that place. And if I could introduce something to anybody that I talk to, it would be expansion, expansion. There's more, there's more. Just when you think you've arrived, it's just begun. It opens at the close. And so I feel like it's a way to open up that kind of dialogue of reopening, reawakening, reawakening, reawakening.
It does happen that way, too. Once you feel like you have arrived, per se, it's only just the beginning of many more arrivals.
Unless you want to stay where you think you've arrived to and judge everybody else about where they should be, where you are, which is like the opposite of loving consciousness. I guess consciousness is at every level too. So everybody has a state of awareness or consciousness. Everybody does. Yep. So it's from that place that we view the world or perceive the world. And so why look inward or why seek a higher consciousness? Well, because everybody, I think, ultimately wants to be happy. So in my experience, reaching inward, outward, and looking into the unknown and raising my awareness and consciousness, I have just found more joy, more bliss, deeper connection, falling in love with everybody and everything and place and event. And if not in love, I have the awareness to be able to move through that and navigate and quit taking subscriptions to things that weren't helping me feel well with myself and with my connection to source, my planet, my environment, my community, people, the food that I put in my mouth, all of those things, consciousness, I feel like isn't how you walk and talk in front of everybody. It's how you walk and talk when you're by yourself. That hit me today on the drive here. Is a lot of people look like ducks and quack like ducks, but they're really not ducks. In consciousness, I feel like go to New Age store, wear a bunch of crystals and and listen to
New Age music.
New Age, yes. And then they feel like that since they have the outfit and the subscription, it applies. But what's going on inside when nobody is watching?
What is going on the inside when no one is watching?
With me?
Yeah, I'm curious because your mind.
Just kidding.
She's so expansive.
Yes.
But
she's also very human.
Very. But we know that.
Well, we
so
know
cute
that.
Watching you two talk about me on third person. I feel like I'm getting roasted in the seat in the corner.
Oh, that would be fun.
That actually would be a lot of fun.
We could totally do that.
Roasting Mandi.
It's that exterior view that we don't have of ourselves unless we have this level of quality of friends that can be real and reflect back to us and help us even through that path of the expansion process. Good friends can help immensely in that process. The beautiful friends that can have those honest dialogues that in love and have that reflection. So it's
I feel like that's where a lot of the expansion comes from too, is other people, places, and things that are observing, that are witnessing. Because you asked what goes on when I'm by myself. Sometimes a whole lot of nothing. It gets boring pretty fast.
Why would you say that? Because when I'm around you, okay, so obviously you're not by yourself when you're around us.
I'm not by myself when you aren't around either.
Right. Ever, not ever. But even when we're like hanging out together, we'll be chatting, Natalie and I, and Mandi's just sitting there completely peacefully quiet. And I always wonder, what is going on inside her head? Like I don't know if that really is you being still, or if you're soaking in what we're talking about, like what it's like. I know that you're not always channeling because you have a way of turning it on and off, but the information that you receive as we are in our human lives.
I have a thought on that. So we'll just talk about this experience being around someone that is fully present. I believe that she practices being in the now so frequently that it's interesting when you're being around someone that is an active practicer of being in the now and being fully present whenever and wherever. It feels so calm to be around those people that are just so present. And then as you raise that awareness and you notice who isn't, and that's that contrast that you get. A big part of consciousness is about practicing being present in the now, in the moments where you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing.
My experience with the both of you, and I feel like obviously there are no coincidences in when we meet our friends and who comes along on your path. We're all teachers to one another.
Right.
But you guys have not only taught me so much, but I have learned so much about myself just by your example and being around you. And if I could say to anyone who's out there looking to elevate their experience in life, really who you surround yourself with will make a huge influence on the person that you are becoming.
Yep.
That's so true.
I've told my children many a times, be careful not to hang out with people you would not trade places with.
Ooh, yeah.
Or only hang out with people that you would trade places with. That would be the more positive way of saying things. Positive, negative, positive, negative. You know, it's interesting. I've had this conversation about positive and negative language. I get the vibration or the frequency of speaking positive or speaking about something negative. And I'd like to know what you two think about this, actually, because this is a dialogue I've had quite a few times, and it comes, it's about consciousness. I have told people oftentimes I don't speak English, I speak frequency. It's less about the words that are coming out of my mouth and more about the frequency. So however it is that person can hear it, given the words that catch their attention with the underlying frequency of awareness and consciousness, of vibration of love. What do y'all think about that? I'm just curious, because the more conscious you speak, because I tend to use language that sometimes makes people feel some kind of way, especially in class. I have a way of pressing people's buttons, pressing people's boundaries. So funny, last night this even happened, and then someone spoke on the opposite end of the spectrum as me, and that ruffled just as many feathers as I did. And so where does the turbulence actually derive from? Well, I just answered that question because it comes from within. You know, what's funny you said about what goes on in my mind is if I ever ask a question or I'm perceiving something outside myself, the answer is almost simultaneous. And so as Natalie was speaking about having a conscious friend that can be a clear reflection for us, is all I have to do is speak out loud and watch and see the reflection of myself listening to myself. Because really, there is no other, right?
Right.
And that is in the most simplest sense, that if I'm looking at a really clear reflection, speaking to them about my emotions, about my feelings, and they hold that center, I can clearly see where I am out of my center. Mostly I am still and I'm experiencing. Mostly when I'm smiling and I'm sitting there just smiling, there's no thoughts. There is no thought. It's pure experience of the five senses. So I'm hearing, I'm seeing, I'm smelling, I'm feeling the temperature, my breath, and it's all simultaneous. And it hasn't always been like that. That was my experience of being present after weeks and weeks of fear and lots of noise in my head. Lots and lots of noise, constant. So much so that when they stopped, I said, "Hello? Are you there? I think I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind." And that was beautiful. And it's been that way ever since. Although when I am off my center, I do tend to, especially when emotions and human stuff's involved. That's Natalie's expertise. Well, I call her when I'm having an emotional state of mind. If it's an emotional state of mind, it's completely irrational, like most humans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are irrational.
We are, well, with feelings are inherently irrational. So when we get bogged into that, it does help to actually bring things into the rational and then clarify it but it takes that balance. So
what if people are right in their emotions?
They are right. In my experience, it's about that ability to be with the emotion, because emotions seriously are visitors. They come and they go. And but
they're like spirits.
They're like spirits. Yes, they come and they go. That would be good on KGRA.
That's why I use so much smudge.
Get them out.
Smudge the emotions. Smudge the spirit. Get it out.
You are a smudger.
It's also fun to be around people that use different tools like smudge, and it's healthy to expand and learn new things and to pick up just concepts from others and see how they clean their energy on a regular basis. It's a maintenance. It does require maintenance. So I do want to comment on the words or the speak or that what Mandi was talking about in my point of view, point of reference or experience, all those things. There is something about speaking positively, about having concept of whether or not you're limiting yourself, bringing yourself down with your regular speech. But I'm also an advocate for being real about what is, and then you could get into those places that are getting in your way and clear that emotional baggage. So that doesn't mean that that you take every negative thought that's going on in your current experience and just go, okay, think happy thoughts, because that doesn't clarify the crap that's hanging around.
I actually think that's not accurate. when people do that, I've seen people do that and say talk positive, and speak positive. But what's going on in the inside, the underlying belief, is really what's causing the tension or the turbulence with their own personal sense of being, right?
Right.
So is it more about the words or more about the emotional state?
Well, the words, it depends on the person, of course. But the words are, let's see. So it would be like if we were dealing with the body, the words are the symptoms. The illness has lots of root causes. So the words aren't the root cause, of course. But that is maybe a place to start. Sometimes it's as simple as stop talking. That was what we talked about last night. I had heard this beautiful acronym, WAIT. It's WAIT. So we were talking about something, and Mandi used the word wait. Oh, we were talking about burdens last night. And so she used the weight, like in the WEIGHT. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, it's both wait and wait when we're processing things about burdens and heaviness. But wait, when I was learning about coaching another person, they tell the coach to think about the acronym WAIT, which is why am I talking? And that's beneficial even within yourself. Why am I talking? Sometimes it's beneficial to be quiet or to tell the voices in your head, why are you talking? Shut up. Stop talking. And then insight happens when we're quiet.
What a valuable lesson. That's something I am working on. I feel like the human part of me, and I feel like a lot of us can understand this as well, is that we feel a need to respond so that we're showing that we're paying attention. Even if we don't have anything to say or we haven't thought through clearly what to respond to or how to respond, we speak without thinking,
right,
or without feeling.
So I had a very powerful, very personal life experience with that concept. And so this was the instruction that I received, which was, if you respond as soon as the person stops talking, then you have not listened to them to the end of their speaking. You were already processing your response while they were talking. So you were not fully present when they were talking. Mm. So and it isn't normal that there's like a pause for you to consider your response to them. But that's actually the more conscious way of conversationing. Conversationing is a real word. It's good. Look,
who said?
Well, I said. Well, that was my experience. So
I was just wondering. Sometimes when that argument, I don't know, it's not an argument. I'm like, who said?
That's a good thing to.
Yeah,
it's just a way of digging deeper.
Yeah.
You're good at that. You're good at digging deeper.
When people say like absolute,
mm-hmm.
Why?
Agreed. That's a great place to start.
I have been on the other side of Mandi's questions, but why? But how? And you're left there,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Uh-huh.
When people are really in their stuff and I just say, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Look at yourself. What are you doing?
Yeah. I love it.
I'm not interested in it. It's just the question is actually for the other person.
Absolutely. We are wandering with Natalie Peace and Mandi Thomas this evening, and we're talking about consciousness. And if you guys are digging this conversation, make sure you stay close because we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
Hello, everyone. Ray Sobbs with KGRA here to introduce all the KGRA fans and listeners to a brand new clothing line called Saucer. Listen, when we feel good in the clothes we wear, we perform better in our daily lives. Take your performance to the next level with SaucerLosAngeles.com. Jackets and hoodies, short and long sleeve tees, stocking caps and hats, and so much more. And for a limited time, use promo code KGRA at checkout and get $10 off each $50 purchase. Go to SaucerLosAngeles.com and see the full line. And don't forget to use promo code KGRA for $10 off each $50 purchase at SaucerLosAngeles.com. Elevate your craft.
Hi, it's AJ from Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit. Have you been searching for unique items to create or add to your sacred space? What about tools for your holistic healing? Or those one-of-a-kind magical ingredients to manifest your desires? Well, look no more, because Vibes has a variety of items to assist you in your spiritual journey. From crystals to candles, incense to books, tapestries to jewelry, OnlineVibes.com has what you're seeking. We even have some thoughtful and mindful gifts to share with your friends and family too. Visit us at OnlineVibes.com from the comfort of your home, or give us a call at 385-244-1099 to have your order beautifully packaged and sent directly to you or a loved one. And right now, take advantage of the coupon code KGRA at checkout to receive 15% off any order. Remember, online, VIBEC.com.
On the next episode of Recipes for Disaster.
So we've got our neighbor Paul coming over tonight for a barbecue, which is why I prepared a delicious lemon rosemary steak marinade from my special collection of old family recipes. To make sure the steaks are extra tender, I left them marinating out on the counter overnight, just like Nana used to.
Maria may mean well, but without food safety, it never ends well. Always thaw or marinate foods in the refrigerator at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, or you could make your friends and family really sick. Maria's neighbor Paul didn't think twice about the steak he ate until he was presenting his company's financial forecast to the board. That's when a sudden bout of food poisoning made it explicitly clear that profits weren't the only thing on the rise. Watch Recipes for Disaster at foodsafety.gov. You'll learn the right steps as Maria does everything wrong. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
Welcome back to Soul Wanderings on KGRAradio.com. We are wandering with our guest this evening, Natalie Peace. She's a grief and life coach, and Mandi Thomas is a channeler and messenger. And we've been discussing consciousness. They both teach a class at Vibes, this really amazing space that I get to be at every single day. And it's called Get Real with Yourself. And it is a class where they tactfully and peacefully give information, sometimes peacefully. I digress. Because they're all about getting real and getting rid of those thoughts that aren't serving you, that aren't doing you any good. So before we go any further, why don't you girls share with us about the class that you keep referring to, we do, the Get Real with Yourself, and the format thereof.
We pick a subject, and usually the subject is inspired, and it's just that idea or subject that to lure everybody in. And what happens when you get on the other side of the door, it always comes full circle, and we always tackle the subject at hand. But when we're in there, I'll step into a channeled space, into a space connecting to source, the mystery, whatever it is that you call it, I call it the great mystery or consciousness, pure consciousness. And I'll channel the information. Natalie holds space for me while I do that. And then she is this amazing interpreter and knows how to take that information and interpret into practical application, both equally important. And I feel like there's a lot of spiritual bypassing going on right now in communities. People spiritually want to bypass the nitty-gritty human experience and the things that come up in everyday life. And that's Natalie's expertise. So the both of us together just have a way of peeling back, getting real, and then applying it so that it can solidify. And then when people leave, hopefully the intention is that they are in a space to be able to integrate it. Sometimes in just a channeling space, people can leave and then that information just floats on by. Once their frequency or vibration gets lower, someone cuts them off in traffic. Natalie will take that information from higher conscious perspective and put it in practical application, layman's terms. That's it.
That's it. As simple as that, but
Yep.
not so simple.
No.
we do our best to simplify.
Right.
We're in there. In fact, some people come in and want to have a big story or a big process about what goes on. And that's when it can be peaceful. What looks like not so peaceful to someone else is they're used to being telling their story. That's actually part of what inspired the question when I said, who said that? To wait till someone's finished. There's actually something that I say in classes. I say, if I cut you off, it's not because of what you have to say that I think is not important. It's not that. It's if I cut you off and you're saying something in class, it's because I've gathered enough information that now the answer is already simultaneously trying to come in, but that person wants to continue to explain themselves about how they're justified in their actions. It's not necessary. If they're really ready to break that program, change their behavior, change their awareness, perception about that incident, person, place, or thing or event in their life, that story, then that channel can come through and offer solutions to what it is they're trying to explain. And then if they don't catch that wave, or after they catch that wave, then Natalie again will come and reinterpret it of how they can apply that in the everyday life.
It's good stuff. Just so you all know, this is definitely the #1 class held at Vibes. It's the longest running consistent class running at Vibes. And a lot of people have had some quite amazing breakthroughs.
Even us.
Oh, yeah.
Right. You guys have also even have learned along the way.
We've been at every Get Real.
Imagine that. Thank you for showing up to your own class.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
We get the lesson applicable to whatever topic we choose. And so we've been thinking about the topics. Be like, are you ready to do this? I think we already learned this. And then we discovered we get to learn deeper. Even if it's something we feel we've got on lock. Then we're like, oh, there's more.
There's always more, isn't there?
So I touch on that real quick, is it's really interesting with social media and people talking about wanting to be able to, they talk about their consciousness and where they are, but I find people less and less interested about taking the next step. So even with the class, how we're learning these things at a deeper level, and Natalie and I continue to do this work and have been for 2 years. And as she said, we're learning this lesson right before we go in. I just find it fascinating for the price and the place and the space and the time, how little commitment people have to, and this is me getting real, people have little commitment to the investment of the quality of their life perception and awareness. I find that people in society, I'm not talking all people, I'm speaking from experience, from people that are around me that I see often, is they've settled with the mediocre, or they'll make small improvements and then they settle there and they settle there. And in a limitless, infinite potential that is called our reality, why is my question? Why settle? For me, that joy and blissful state of Zen, that silentness, that stillness, that time when I'm brought to tears in class is my favorite part. When I'm so full of gratitude and joy, it will just overwhelm me to the point where I just weep. And it only lasts for a moment. And the quicker and the more often that I can exercise myself getting to that feeling and then raise the bar the next time and the next time, that's what I'm about. Because that happiness, that bliss, that joyful state is transient, or if that's the right word, it doesn't last long. Just like Natalie was speaking about emotions, they come and go. They have a shelf life. They have a duration, and then they come to a close. So does happiness, bliss, and joy. Although there's ways that we can walk in life, that we can obtain those states of being more consistently, more often. And when we do it, there's less recovery time in all emotional states. People will get really traumatized, and then they have this long recovery. People have a really exciting night out on the town, or exciting morning on a hike, or exciting something happened in their life, a wedding, a new baby being born, and it's days of recovery because they're emotionally drained, because they don't often shift out of the neutral of what is the mundane every day. So that's what I would say about consciousness is, no, there's more. There's more. You've arrived. Great. Fill up. Jet fuel this time. Let's see how high you can go.
Okay, well, that's going to lead me to a question. We have several questions. I shouldn't say several. We have a handful of, questions from the chat room. I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to ask you a question in regards to this.
I like things in order.
Well,
I'm just playing. Bring on the chaos. Let's hear it. Do it.
Like, really?
We do have a question from Carl. Who controls the collective consciousness?
Oh, that's such an interesting kind of a who controls
Who controls
you?
The wisdom of Alice in Wonderland.
Controls.
I wish I had a hookah right now.
I feel like relax. Nothing is in control.
Right. There isn't anything controlling.
Unless there is. I mean, if it helps you feel safe to feel like we have some control over it all, then
I'd be curious what his concept of that, because I bet you he comes from a space where he has perhaps a conceived notion of that. What does that mean? This collective consciousness.
Oh, I have a good response.
Okay,
are you ready?
good. See, there she goes. We queued her up.
Who controls the collective consciousness? Oh, this is so good. The masses of what's being controlled is the allowance of receiving. Okay, let me get it. It's right there. Because it has to do with social media. It has to do with Hollywood. It has to do with music on the radio. It has to do with politics, reality TV, commercials, Fox News. I'm sorry. Did I say that? I should probably not mention any names, but if I were, it would be some kind of news.
No, that's
okay.
Say it. Preach it, girl.
I'm just like, there are, I don't know, because I don't watch it. I could be wrong. I mean, I could be wrong. I say that often because I am open to the possibility. Actually, there is no right and wrong. So really, I just say that to make other people feel better when they think that I'm being self-righteous. Anyways, back to the control. Who controls the collective? The people with the power do their best to put the output, but the reason they have control is because our inability to see through the illusion or want something different than what we're being spoon-fed. So it's not really someone has control. We all have free will. We have will. But the thing is our will has to be greater than that is that we are receiving and holding on to as truth. People want to hold on to a truth, idea, or belief system when it comes to religion, when it comes to race, sexuality, humanity, society, states, borders, all of these things, they inherit a belief, or they're told something that they subscribe to, and then that is what controls them. So that's that's just where I went with the question. But I would still say relax, nothing's under control.
Right.
It really, yeah. Go ahead, Natalie.
Right, it really isn't. Along with this concept of consciousness comes a massive amount of responsibility. So there is a lot of responsibility that each individual takes on. The more conscious they become, the more aware they become. The more aware they become of what they're ingesting, through their whatever that list that Mandi just went through. And what we eat. Those types of things raise the awareness of what your inputs are and then make adjustments. Many people will find that socially they don't want to be challenged socially. They want to be in the know, so they watch the news. Can't tell you how often I see people, and I understand a lot of their anxiety comes from constantly streaming news. Shut it off. No, but I need to be in the know. Okay. Well, your choice is then be anxious. So this is a very interconnected thing, and lots of choices involved, and you just got to raise your awareness, understand what you're getting fed, and then choose a different menu if you want a different life, that kind of thing.
I'm just nodding my head, yep. Mm-hmm. And no one can see that. But the fact of the matter is news, media, all of that is such a huge influence on controlling our thoughts, when in all reality, we control our thoughts. We are giving our power away every day that we listen to what they are doing to manipulate our minds.
It's okay too. That's okay too.
Well, we're all on our own journey, and we're all at different levels. And
somebody's got to do it.
Right.
Better them than me. Then I can be over here in my joy talking to Source. That's good.
Okay, let's talk about like negative thinking and thought patterns and things like that with consciousness. Listener question: how do you get past the "I can't" syndrome?
Drop the apostrophe T.
Really?
Okay, we'll hear what does the channel say?
I don't know. Let's hear Natalie's part first. I'm going to catch it.
She catches it. Humans can make something very complicated. The simple thing is to first start listening to what your thoughts are, what your speech is. If someone continually says I can't, and it's the regular part of their verbiage, they have to first become aware of what their speech is, what's their script. So without doing any changes, so don't jump right into the changes. Raise your awareness and start listening to yourself when you verbalize. We tell our story, and then we often are so in our story, we're not even listening to the story. It's such a script. So we start listening, and then we start, whether we write it down verbatim, whatever that looks like, listening, raising the awareness of it. And as you raise your awareness, then you start understanding what's going on and what's being said, and then you change the words. And I run into people often in my coaching experiences, in my classes, that we like, but that isn't the truth. What is the truth? But change it. So just what's the problem with changing it? Because in the consciousness world, what we are doing in the now projects, that's what's launching things into the future from the now, this moment. And so when you say it isn't the way it is, but you're generally speaking past information anyway. So you come to the now, pay attention to what you're saying, change the words. Change the words. What's the harm in doing that? And then see what happens. Experiment with it. Life is an experiment anyway. Play with it. Experiment with it. Have some fun. Lighten up. Enjoy. Laugh. Those types of things. So that question says, how do I change the can't? The I can't. You simply say, I can. That's the simple.
I don't know. I didn't hear what you said,
That's
but
okay,
I'm sure
you go.
it was good. I'm sure it
Mandi
was good.
was connecting.
What you got?
There's a few things. One thing that came up was the experience of myself when I said I can't express myself. I would say, I can't speak in public. I can't express myself. And my teacher said to me, so instead of saying I can't, instead of going to the complete opposite, which in the moment you feel like isn't true because you've already reiterated that you can't, or that you continue to reiterate, if that's the right word, that you can't. Something I started saying is I would just catch myself as soon as I said I can't express that. I would say, I'm learning how to express myself more. I'm remembering how to express myself more. And I would just get comfortable in saying that. Here's a couple of things that came through, though. If I heard someone say I can't, I would say, well, why can't you? And I would get to the root of it. Some people, if you're paralyzed and you can't walk, then you don't walk. It's that's a physical thing that some people physically can't. Or can't you because you're immobilized by fear? So it may not be a physical issue, it may be a mental issue, right? And so then it may be a spiritual issue. I can't eat pork. Well, okay, some religion base. Do you see what I mean? So if the can't, why the can't? Is it a physical, mental, emotional, social? That would be a way to maybe start to get in a little deeper. And then what I would say is after the I can't, go, well, what can I do? What can I do? And bring the focus to what can you do instead of, there's some people, I can't ride roller coaster, I'm too afraid. Well, what can you do? Can you stand by the roller coaster and feel what it feels like? Get over the noise, get over the screaming, start to stress. So they put people through stress inoculation circuits when getting outside your comfort zone. And the idea is to do something you're uncomfortable until you're comfortable with it. If you're shooting to the point where you're paralyzed or that you're immobilized because it's too much stress and you can't do it, then I would say, what can you do? Put yourself in that position of what you think you can do. Oh, this is really cool too. I've done this exercise with people. That person who asked that question that's listening right now and all others that want to participate, reach your hands up high. Reach them as high as you can. Reach your arms, seriously, reach your arms as high as you can. Open your fingers, stretch your fingers as high as you can. Now reach a little further. That's the answer. You can always do a little more than you think you can in the moment. We are made of two different there's we're infinite potential. We're infinite potential. So the I am is different than I, when you're saying I can't, that's an identity crisis. It's not a crisis really, but the I am is infinite. So once we know that it's an infinite potential, and then we go as far as we think we can and then go one step further, that in itself is one step closer to what it is you're trying to be. But we're constantly evolving. And evolution happens kind of in two stages. There's the limitation. Well, it happens in lots of stages. It depends on the perspective. We'll get into that some other time. But there's limitation and expansion. So you're either being limited or you're expanding. So the idea is to expand your limitations. That's it. And it can be just that. Go as far as you can and then go a little bit more. because then you will start to expand.
We can always go a little bit more. That's a great exercise when you're saying reach your hands up and spread your fingers and reach, and then go a little more. Who cannot just go a little more? We all have the ability to do that.
Right. And the I can't is part of that programming. Is some people have bought into the program of certain ideas in society. You can't cross the border without a passport. Okay. Well, you can, and what are the consequences?
True.
Right? So there's consequences to our actions. And I don't say consequences like stand in the corner if you're naughty, not those kind of consequences. In fact, I like the word discipline instead. I heard a wise person once say, discipline comes from the outside or the inside. You choose. When we are disciplined on the inside, and we have that drive for ourselves, then we no longer require discipline from the outside. And we no longer resist those things that we don't believe in. I don't really believe in borders of countries, states, and all those things, but guess what? Got my passport. Why give such a fuss to these things that are in control of the people playing in that other sandbox over there? You know, that's not my sandbox. So give less attention about the things that are out of your hands. Like the news.
Right.
Anything that is, I can. Give less attention to that and focus on the things you can do in your community, that you can do within your family. In fact, actually, you're only in relationship with yourself ever anyways. In the simplest, truest form, you are ultimately only in relationship with yourself because there is no other. It is all yourself that you are in a relationship to. Your perspective is going through those filters of your beliefs, your religion, your ideas, your thoughts, judgments about life. That is what's giving you the reality in which you live in. The reality is your perception. It's not the actual people, place, and events happening outside you. It is your perception and the way that you gather the information, that you receive the information from the inside. Work on the relationship with yourself on the inside, and your whole reality will shift, and it will change. And if it's good and you like it, guess what? There's more. And if it's good and you like it and you're happy, there's more. There's more. It's like, why not expand? It is so good. There are people that are so happy with their life. There's more.
And that's even without the $1 million or more than $1 million. That's simple.
That just made me do a little happy dance in my seat.
It's so good. It's so good. Yep.
It feels so good.
And you know what? It's funny is it's true even if people don't believe it. That's the part I love, because some people want to just squash that belief, and I just smile like, oh, but it's still true.
So, yeah, it's so good. My thought on that is that many times that there's a reason why people will keep that, because in some way that limitation benefits them. So there's also this aspect of being human where we will limit ourselves because it serves us in some way. Less responsibility. I don't have to take on other things. That's once again what the can't belongs to, what avenue that is talking about. But there is this inherently human thing that our stories serve us in some way. Whether that's our stories in this room, our story is that we can, and we'll tackle and we'll push and we'll expand, and that serves us in some way. So either way, it does that. So there's an aspect of that where the self-examination, where you get real with yourself and you really get real and go, maybe it does serve me. I'm all right with that, or not.
I remember a time in my life where I would say I can't a lot. And it was pointed out to me because it was a thing. And it wasn't like I didn't believe that I couldn't. I just didn't want to. It was a habit or whatever that looked like. I just can't, or whatever. And that was years and years, a long, long time ago, like maybe 8-10 years ago. But just having it brought to my attention and bringing it into my awareness that that's something that I do, I was able to shed some light on it and literally it changed everything in my future. I wouldn't be here today if I kept saying I can't.
Oh, right.
Because someone Warren, of all people, was like, you are going to do a podcast. And my first thought wasn't, I can't. It was like, whoa, I don't know about that. Not on my radar. But it wasn't a belief of I can't. It just wasn't into my awareness of that something that possibly I would enjoy doing, which if you just change the perspective and shed some light onto it, it literally will change your reality. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You guys are listening to Soul Wanderings here on KGRAradio.com. We're going to take a quick break and we'll return shortly to wander with our guests, Natalie and Mandi.
Free video-on-demand TV channel completely devoted to only the best movies on UFOs, ancient mysteries, conspiracies, and suppressed science. It's called UFO TV All Access. UFO TV All Access is now available on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Chromecast, UFOTV.com, and download the UFO TV app from Google Play and iTunes. Go to UFOTV.com and subscribe now. That's UFO TV All Access. If it's not UFO TV, it's just a hoax.
This is Richard Dolan announcing a new exclusive content website, richarddolanmembers.com. I've been working on this for a long time. Unique weekly podcasts that you won't hear anywhere else, fresh articles and blog posts, a special video series entitled Off the Cuff with Richard Dolan, regular Ask Me Anything style live chat sessions, and more. This is a full-featured member site where you will get my insights, my updates, and be able to interact directly with me. To learn more, go to richarddolanmembers.com.
For years, our listeners connect to the KGRA on various platforms like TalkStream Live, TuneIn, Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and many more. Now, you can stream your favorite paranormal talk radio shows with our new fully integrated custom KGRA mobile apps for Android and iPhones. Listen to your favorite paranormal talk shows from any mobile device 24/7, free with smartphone or tablet. Utilize custom features to access news, show pages, archives, contests, events, and live interactive chat rooms. Set show notification alerts and never miss your favorite live programs. All free and available to download in Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code TALK.
You know, food was different 60 years ago. It was minimally processed, free of pesticides. It was nourishing and healthful for your body. Today, GMOs, pesticides, herbicides, and heavy processing have depleted the nutrition of our food supply, which takes a toll on our health and energy. It's harder than ever to get the right nutrition. That's what Life Change Tea is meant to counteract. Our specially blended, powerful herbal formulas can give you more energy without caffeine. It's a mild cleanse, a mild daily detox. A good detox can help revive and bring back the energy of your youth. GetTheTea.com is the website. It'll cleanse you from the inside out with this herbal proprietary formula. Go to GetTheTea.com. There's no fillers, no GMOs. It's organic. Not available in stores. You must go to their website, getthetea.com. And their supplements are a great way to maintain your health. Read the testimonials on the website. Go to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com.
Now you have the inside contact for Alternative Talk Radio. The Planet. KGRARadio.com.
Welcome back to Soul Wanderings, which is heard here on KGRARadio.com, as well as many other platforms for your convenience, like iTunes, TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, and Spreaker, just to name a few. Also, make sure you guys check out the new official KGRA Radio on YouTube for the latest show archives. But wherever you guys are joining us from tonight, welcome. We're happy to have you here wandering with us this evening. Tonight we're visiting with Natalie Peace and Mandi Thomas. It's been quite interesting already learning about consciousness. And before we went to our break, we had another question or comment question from the chat room that I want to ask you guys. And
bring it on. Okay.
Okay, you ready? Okay,
we're ready.
Let's do this. He wanted to know, can the guests talk about being overconscious?
Okay, so
overconscious.
Is
that a thing?
You know, anything's a thing, I suppose. Give me something, I'll talk about it. I'll make stuff up along the way. No.
Okay. A side comment after, sort of a negative energy over conscious nervousness.
So just my take on that. There's a couple layers that I want to address. One, yes, people can, it's funny, we can take whatever it is, and then we can also make it work for us or not work for us. The way the humanness happens, it just flows that way. So we can dive in and we can become super conscious, and it can come out in lots of different ways. One, you can become more judgmental because you've got it better than others, or you've learned so much. There's also people that I've met in the consciousness circles that then begin to espouse the wisdom that they've read and talk about, and then they become a conversation like hog. They can also talk too much, or they want to share with everyone what they've learned, so those types of things. And then our sensitivity level does go up as our awareness raises. We actually do become more sensitive to it. And that's actually where this continual work and cleanup and maintenance comes in. So that's another level of the responsibility, that if we're sensitive and we become overconscious, that does expand the sensitivity, which in my view expands your responsibility to clear your energy. And so it can be a double-edged sword, where you can raise your awareness and raise your consciousness, and then that does have an effect. And so then that's how the learning grows. More skills, you have to scale up. Where sometimes that benefit of having a clear, conscious friend or a good mirror becomes really important in that aspect, at least from the way I hear that question.
There's the friend thing again.
It's important to have that ability to reflect, because we can intellectually process, that only goes so far. So it's also important to have a good network, and sometimes that can shift. No, maybe even more than sometimes. There are costs that come as you raise your awareness, that you will often find your networks or your friends or your groups shifting and morphing, and it's okay. It's okay to let things come and go.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a thing too. The more conscious and more awake you become, you do, I don't want to say lose, because I don't know if that's necessarily a loss, but people do shift out of your life, but also new people shift in to your life as well. Mandy?
Okay. There's a couple things. Our consciousness is our awareness of our surroundings. Every great teacher has said, be the change you wish to see in the world, or be here now, or it all revolves around being now and being present. You must be present to win, I say in class often. You must be present to win. And it's that the two sides. I'm going to address one side of it first, and this is this is the spiritual bypassing I was talking about. Is there are people that investigate concepts of astral travel, Reiki, energy work, shamanic journeys, eating ayahuasca, going to ceremonies, and they're doing these things, and they're cracking themselves open and open and open and digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and think they've got to heal. And it's eventually like, when does it stop? And I think that comes with part of becoming more conscious and sitting with self. When we sit with ourself and stop investigating, going on a witch hunt, I call it, and not witch, W-I-T-C-H, but which thing was it? Which person was it? Which event, traumatic event happened in my life that gave me this belief that now that I am suffering for? So I would say the more that we are in the now, the more present and conscious, aware we are in the now, with no thoughts, judgments, or perceived ideas about what it is that we're witnessing or experiencing. When we are in that moment, it feels neutral. It is not elevated, super excited. We can come to moments of waves of gratitude or joy or bliss in the experience of it that just washes over us, but it happens pretty quickly. That resting state of Zen, or that resting state of being, there isn't any anxiety or stress. Anxiety, I have been told, comes from the future. Depression comes from the past. When we're living in the present or the future or the past, we're out of the soul's journey. The soul's journey, the soul is existing in the now. The soul is experiencing in the now. The mind and our thoughts and our memories and beliefs, those exist in the future and the past. Nothing else does. On a really big scale, everything is existing right now. Everything. So the part of where you can become so conscious or overly conscious where it can have a negative effect, that is the second part that I was going to talk about. Is once there is this realization that everything is happening in the now and we are connected to everything and we are one, and I am breathing and I am here with all these versions of myself, and all this is a three-dimensional experience that I'm experiencing outside of myself to experience myself, and separation is completely the illusion. What I would say is, if you're experiencing anxiety or depression, the depression probably has to do with, and this, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a fortune teller, I can't tell people what they need, or what I would say is to seek inside yourself and ask you what you need. Are there people, places, and things that it is in your highest wellness, your highest, greatest good, to remove yourself from that? Because now, as Natalie was talking about, the responsibility that comes with consciousness is you have a responsibility to yourself first and foremost. Because if you are not in your center, you cannot be the reflection for the world to then raise their awareness and consciousness. When your frequency is low with anxiety, you aren't doing a service to humanity. You're not doing a service to your community. That doesn't mean you're doing a disservice. So stop beating yourself up if ever you think that you're doing a disservice. There's an ebb and flow. We're going to have moments of anxiety. Notice around you. Bring yourself back to now. Bring yourself back to the breath. Bring yourself back to the breath, to the now, to the now, to the most simplest form of now. And then notice, what is it around me? Is it a belief that I have? Or is there something that I'm connected to or an environment that I'm in that the contrast of my frequency of my awareness and consciousness is so far removed from the vibration that is being held at that person, place, or thing? There are places that I no longer go. There are things that I no longer eat. And it isn't because I don't want to or I have any judgments about that, but it is because that frequency is so far outside of my joy, bliss, happy, or even neutral state. If I am neutral and I walk in a place that there is a lot of negativity, I don't go watch horror movies. Horror movies have a different frequency. It doesn't feel good for me. That isn't a judgment. That just means that my frequency, my attunement to myself is my responsibility. And so I feel like we can get to a conscious level where, yeah, there's some things that you're just simply not going to desire anymore. And then maybe you want to hold on to the past because those people, place, and things used to bring you joy. So you go and implant yourself in conversations with those people about those things, and you find yourself not feeling very well. So it's really about learning yourself. And therefore, when you're in your frequency and vibration, you can go around people, place, things, music, and see what fans your flame. If it doesn't fan your flame or it brings you to anxiety or depression, then I would say step back and assess the situation. That
I have another thought that came up. What will often happen also in consciousness circles is that it's like a preaching or a bring everyone else on board. I have something that's sensitive that I want to change, but it ends up being I got to change everybody else's behavior because I'm sensitive. So let's get everybody else on board and raise their vibration.
And that's unconscious, actually.
Correct.
That's the opposite of being conscious. That is being unconscious.
She gets fired up. You can see her face.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. And so that actually causes a lot of tension. But that means that's coming from a space of ego. So being conscious, you're making the adjustments, your personal adjustments, not adjusting the world so that you are not, so that you're more comfortable. There is this space where you're, like Mandi said, you're tuning in and you're making your adjustments, and it is okay to opt out of places. Mm-hmm. It isn't your job to change the places that are uncomfortable for you now. It's our job to change, to work on us. Mm-hmm. So as we build our consciousness, we more deeply understand it's that internal journey, that internal relationship, that internal responsibility, which it's magic. I just say it's like magic. I don't know better. Not magic, but it's the way things work. As you change and adjust and you keep that getting real with yourself, it's a yourself thing. You influence people without having it be such a turmoil. It's what happens.
I got one other thing too. This just came up. I was waiting until you were done. Did you see how good I was?
You were
I didn't
so
even
good.
cut you off.
I'm glad you
even
brought
cut
that
Natalie
up, though,
off.
Natalie.
Yes.
That was good.
So this is what I was going to say to listeners. If you've listened this far in on the show or you're enjoying the show and you're picking up on what we're putting down, what? Way good job. That's what I say. Way good job. You're super big deal.
Super big deal.
There's nothing that is a bigger deal than anything else. So that's what I was going to say is if you've tuned in this far, something that's been really helpful for me in this journey of expansion into the infinite potential is there comes a point when the mass majority of society no longer applies to your perception or your reality or what it is that you think. That isn't to come to say that that's a judgment. It's an observation. It's not a judgment, so it's okay to speak about our observations. From a conscious, aware person having an observation of someone else, I would say pay attention to your words and your advice that you give to others, because really that is source speaking through you to you, projecting it on someone else. What you see in others around you is actually the keys for you are gathering information to open yourself up to your true potential, your infinite potential, via projection. So pay attention to the words and conversations you're having with others and take your own advice. And that seems cliche, is like, oh, take your own advice, but I'm saying it on the simplest level. After a conversation with someone, replay that conversation in your mouth or in your mind, what came out of your mouth, and allow yourself to receive that information from yourself, because somewhere that was inspired to tell that other person, or that's the way that you were able to make that observation outside of yourself. And if you're at an awareness about what we're talking about and consciousness at the frequency and vibration we're talking about, oneness, unity, that we're all connected, there is no separation, that it is all an illusion, but it is a beautiful masterpiece of this self experiencing and expanding inside and outside of itself, then listen to yourself. Allow yourself to be your own master. Allow yourself to be your own guru. There is nothing egoic or superficial about that. There is a joke that has been said before: if you see the Buddha on the street, kill him, because that is not the Buddha. The Buddha is inside. The Buddha is within. That's what the Buddha taught. The Buddha is not outside of you. The Buddha is inside.
I love those mirrors. See, Mandi goes super, super deep. Whew, I love it. So I have another listener question. Is consciousness a function of the brain, or is it something else?
So glad I looked this up on Google in the parking lot before I came in here.
A little scripting.
Well, this is paranormal radio, so I mean that there's definitions on Google. It's definitely intellectual, but I mean, I would say what we're talking about here is being awoke or awake or reaching a state of consciousness that is metaphysical. It's outside the idea of what science can explain. Science can't explain consciousness. No brain surgeon has ever seen a thought. So I would say I have no idea, but when you let me know, clue me in, will you? There's some questions I just don't ask. I should say that I ask them, and then after I ask them, I go, well, that will be cool one day if I have understanding. And then sometimes I come to an understanding, so I think clarity about something, and my teacher would say, that's the second trap. The second trap is thinking that you have understanding of what is, because what is subject to change.
It's just one step on the stairwell.
Yeah.
It's also...
Google said yes, though. Google said it's a function of the brain.
Really? You really did Google it?
Yes, I did.
I thought you were just being a smartass because you're really good at that, too.
Dude, I am too... You know what's really interesting? Is 2 steps ahead. Being 2 steps ahead, I don't ever know I'm 2 steps ahead until it happens. I have no idea why I looked it up, but that is exactly why I looked it up.
Interesting.
So it's not that I'm 2 steps ahead, I'm better, but there are times that I feel I'm 2 steps ahead in time in order to recall the information for the moment.
Why do you think it is that we as humans have this need or desire to always want to know, to have the answer for everything? I mean, you don't have an answer, and we're okay with that, but I know some people wouldn't be okay with that. So where is that?
Is that ego? Is ego mind the wanting to know? Because that's a security issue, I would say. That's something that makes us feel safe. So it comes from an insecurity of being unsafe. My best friend is the great mystery. That is my best friend. The unknown is, that's juicy stuff. I love the unknown. I'm like, I love surprises. I love surprises.
I love them too.
But there is something.
Well, there is something about the particular wiring of an individual. And there is definitely people that are wired feelings based and then wired with thinking. So there's a bunch of people that are more brain oriented, so they're going to naturally intellectualize. It's interesting when we're in Get Real with Yourself and we're working in this consciousness space and we have intellectuals in the room. It changes the flow, and it actually affects Mandi in the channel because they try to analyze and process the information as it's coming at this other level. And there is a point in some consciousness experiences where you need to suspend the analysis of information. So there's spaces where it's good to analyze and let philosophers are natural thinkers. So a lot of philosophy, which consciousness thinking comes through the process of thinking about it. Mm-hmm. That's good. There's some other experiences where you surrender and let that analysis stop. Because to analyze is to pull apart. And how do you explain consciousness when you pull it all into parts? And then you have the parts where it's like explaining, an animal when you dissect it. That just means it's cut up and dissected. It's no longer the whole. So when you take a part of anything, it is only a piece of the entire puzzle. So there's part of this where the knowing only, the intellectualizing, the brain processing only takes you so far in the consciousness journey. And that's good. Go so far. And then this is the extra stretching where you suspend the intellect, because science can't explain the phenomenon. In fact, science generally rules out the phenomenon. In research studies, things like that, they have thrown out the phenomenal parts, the anomalies. But that's a lot where the consciousness is. And there's also this concept, the observer always changes the experiment. So to observe something is to change it. So every observer will have some effect on it.
And everyone observes things differently.
Right. And so the brain likes to process things a little bit more and structured. This is the way it is, unless it isn't.
And I would say natural knowing is not thought.
Right.
When I have a knowing, it's not a thought. It's a piece. It's a knowing in the moment, and it happens in the now. When you know someone's watching you, when you know you have to jump out of the way, when something's coming down and you move out of the way, there's a knowing. You don't think, oh, that rock's falling down the mountain, I should probably move. Should I go right or left? Wait, where's the map? Am I going to go off track? No. The knowing it's inherent in us. And how can you know the infinite? It is constantly evolving. So the moment that we know, then it has changed future knowings, because now that knowing is implemented. It's stretch a little further, like you said. That science is constantly evolving. Quantum physicists, automobiles, trains, planes, automobiles, technology. Apple is the perfect example. I remember those little floppy disks. Do you remember playing those floppy disks? What was that Oregon Trail we used to play?
Love it.
Do you remember shorthand typewriter? We used to write cursive. There was even calligraphy pens, and I knew how to do that. And now it doesn't even matter if you know how to do that, because it doesn't exist anymore. If you have an Oregon Trail thing, then it's like vintage, awesome. But I'm saying it's not part of our everyday reality anymore. So that knowing is really... it's not useful anymore. It's not applicable in this society anymore. So we have got to keep up.
I really enjoy talking about consciousness. It's good. I'm doing a little happy dance in my chair. It's good. I like it a lot. We are going to take our last break for the evening, and when we return, we'll be sharing more time with Natalie and Mandi. If you guys have any questions, this is the last part of the show, so make sure you hop on over to kgraradio.com/chat and ask those questions before it's too late. We'll be right back.
UFO TV All Access presents an original film, The Cosmic Matrix, Science, SETI, and UFOs. The movie that delivers real disclosure. Case closed. UFO TV All Access is available on UFOTV.com, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, Comcast, and download the UFO TV app from iTunes and Google Play. Alien disclosure has happened. Now stay informed. Go to UFOTV.com and subscribe now and see the new movie, The Cosmic Matrix. See the movie and join the revolution.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Hey, is that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
KGRARadio.com is your conference connection station.
Welcome back to Soul Wanderings on KGRA Radio. I'm AJ Rasmussen, and I am wandering with two lovely ladies tonight, Natalie Peace and Mandi Thomas. I'm so thankful you guys are joining me once again. I love having you on the show.
Oh, we love it.
It's good. We, not only do I want you on the show often, we have people write in and say, you guys are good and they like you here. So I'm just going to keep bringing you back.
Okay.
I think that should be a thing. We're talking about consciousness this evening, and I was curious myself. This isn't a listener question. Mandi does a lot of energetic maintenance, and I was asking her off air if that had to do anything with assisting her consciousness. So on air, do you want to give us the answer to that? Because I thought it was really good.
So can I just, I'm just going to start off with the same answer that I told you.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It was good enough. I wanted to repeat this question on air.
It is my understanding that with indigenous teachings, native teachings, older teachings, that wisdom has come from years and years, is that it was told to me once that nothing is added and nothing is taken away. Don't add anything to it. Don't take anything away. And so as I presented it, it was like Tai Chi. You have a Tai Chi form, and there is a form that is repeated, and it's the same form every time, or to do a Qigong practice. Well, you want to be in the middle of your Tai Chi form and then break into some Vinyasa flow. Or you want to be in Vinyasa flow and then break into some Qigong in the middle of your sun's salutations. And so for me, it's about going back to the simplicity and not really reinvent. I speak to myself, check in with myself, and there was one way that really spoke to my heart. And it's indigenous, it's native ways really speak to my heart. And it was years of seeking before that it found me, or that I found it, that I came home to it, is what it felt like. I had studied quantum mechanics. I was agnostic. I was atheist. I studied science. I read cards. I played with crystals. I went to church, Christian church. I went to a Hindu church. I did Buddhism. I mean, I seeked all these things. When I went to that native way, it really spoke to me. I felt like I was home. And so I started to learn that language so that I could become fluent in it. And the thing is languages and practices, they're alive. They're alive. They have energy. I feel like they're alive. Our language is alive. All these languages and practices, they're alive. And so it's about peeling back those layers, getting to know it. So when I smudge, it's because, well, I have a relationship with that. I've learned to speak that language. I was thinking about it earlier, actually, when I burned some in here, and I thought, you know what, I wonder if I switched it out for something else. Let's say I just all of a sudden took all my smudge and I traded it in for, I don't know, Febreze, but it wouldn't even be Febreze. What if I traded it all in for I don't know, a whistle or instrument or another instrument? It doesn't even matter what it is. I feel like that could change over, but I do feel like as far as energy maintenance and consciousness, that's what helps me, is to have a fluent language that I share with my source, that I connect with, so that it can know me better and speak to me in a way that I can understand. And when I speak to it, it understands me, and there's less interference from the collective.
Yeah. What about for you, Natalie? I know you have your own way of energetic maintenance.
True. So I was listening to Mandi and then just letting myself kind of contemplate. I am an intellectual, so I know that I process a lot with readings and knowing. And I've studied systems of understanding, like numerology, astrology, this human design system that's out there. I studied myself. And so then I understand my wiring. And so I understand I have this need to know kind of thing. So I was remembering that sometimes when I feel off center or am just a little bit, need to just get some centering, I have a few books that I'll go to. One book that I'll just open up, and it has simple phrases in it, and it gives me what I need to get myself just tracking. And I will use words. I will use that kind of thing. I also just tend to I do things solitarily, so I'll just be at home or do things with my hands. So I'm very hands-on. Also, I like to work with my hands, and that brings me into center. So that's my way. Gardening, being with the earth. I just love that part. So those are things that I do. I also have spent time. I did a 10-day meditation retreat that was Vipassana, which I learned a lot about myself during that time, and I can take that remembrance and bring that into the now. I did spend 3.5 years learning about energy, personal energy, in a local program where I learned about energy flow that way. And so I've thrown myself into different experiences. So I would recommend to people, explore, push your boundaries. Life really begins outside that comfort zone. If you're in your comfort zone and you're looking for expansion, get uncomfortable.
It's like Mandi said earlier, reach and then reach a little more.
A little more.
You know what's fascinating? I'll touch on real fast with that language and consciousness is that we've talked a little bit too about how there's people that are out there that are preaching or think that they know the way or there's a right way or that they have found it and they're there and they've arrived.
I love this. I was going to ask you about spiritual gurus.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let's
check
do
this. This is fascinating right here. Is when two people or three people or a group of people are on the same consciousness wave. It doesn't matter if one is native, one is a Tai Chi master, one is a yoga instructor, one is a scientist, one is a doctor, one is atheist even, doesn't believe in like a God or whatever that an atheist would be. If they are on the same consciousness, the frequency and the language between them is fluent. It is fluent. It is the coolest thing ever to get together with one of my greatest teachers, total science-based. Total science and into biology and the science of seriously the molecular structure and the makeup of the human body and it all is just beside. I don't understand it, and there's this common thread that connects it all. I call it the universal language, or the what is it called? What is it in Better Off Dead? Love. What did they say?
We just talked about that last night.
Yes, it was so good. It's the international language, but really it's inner consciousness language. So I was just going to point that out is that if you're looking for your tribe, your vibe will attract it, your consciousness will attract it. It's not necessarily around groups or people that believe the same thing you do. In fact, when I go around certain ways that speak home to me, there are people there that we don't see eye to eye and we aren't on the same consciousness level. In fact, we just don't see eye to eye, and we believe in the same structure of spiritual practice, yet our consciousness is different. Does that make sense? So it's that.
So inherently, when you establish some method or methodology, you are limiting something that is unlimited. So be careful.
Yes, and at the end of it, you could just burn it all because wherever you go, there you are.
Right.
And that's all that there really is you.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Yes. So, speaking of wherever you go, there you are, the guru thing.
Yes. Okay, so that's where I thought you were headed. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I got really excited. So, in consciousness, and we were just talking about this even, in consciousness, there's a lot of people who will tell you there's a right way, there's a wrong way, you need to be doing it my way, that sort of thing. And there are handfuls and handfuls of people preaching their way on social media, in communities, all of those things. So talk to us about that. Well, I know you have
if I would just say, get real, this is the realest I can be. If they say they're a shaman, they're not a shaman. If they say they're a guru, they're not a guru. If they say they're a messiah, they're not a messiah. But if they say, yes, and you are that messiah you're looking for. You are that guru you are looking for. You are the healer you are looking for. Then they might be something. Maybe. But in my experience, when people have a title and are convincing people of their title and they have a sales pitch, for me, that is when I turn and walk the other way, and not out of rudeness and not out of this is see, it's really trippy because I can feel the energy of people's resistance to this idea. And all I can say is it's in every book written, well, not every is a very bold statement. The great masters that have walked this planet, the gurus, the teachers, the people that have had the messages that feel like home, that feel like truth, that feel like remembrance, all they are doing is reminding us. They are being that. They are being the change they wish to see in the world. And we see our reflection and we want to put them on a pedestal and think it's them. And someone who is at the awareness of love, universal truth, will not allow you to put them on a pedestal. They will know that we are equal.
Right. Which kind of answers the question I'm going to ask. But we as a human race, the titles mean something to us. Not just the person with the title, but how you're describing who you are or your services to another human being. The title is kind of mandatory.
Well, they might have.
So how do you
practice.
differentiate?
I would say if they have a practice,
Mm-hmm.
someone may have a healing practice, someone may have a shamanic practice, someone may have a body work practice. But the moment that they start to recruit or
gain a following.
enroll and gain a following, then, and this is just for me, like I said, question everything I say, What I would, the truth that I know inside me is to ask yourself, if someone tells me something, a teaching, if I get a teaching from teachers, I have teachers. And when I say I have teachers, they don't call themselves my teachers. My ex-husband is one of my greatest teachers. He is one of my teachers I speak about often. Like, these teachers do not put themselves above me. They are my brothers and sisters that are put in my path of consciousness to be those reminders for myself, to push my buttons, to bring me to joy, to make me angry, to bring me to forgiveness. Those are my teachers. That's what I consider a teacher. As I teach others through my experience. I don't teach them what I don't teach them what I think they need to know. I tell people I will show you where to look. I will show you where to look, but not what to see. Because that is up to the individual to see it from their perspective. And the answers and the knowing and that seeing comes from the inside. It does. It comes from the inside. Every great master has taught this. And that it is my experience. So when it comes to titles, I would say it's a practice. But I would say that someone who is at that level of awareness and consciousness doesn't need to give you a sales pitch. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. You're going to know it. Trust yourself, trust yourself, trust yourself.
Okay.
So
I'm like, it sounds very simple. Were you going to say something, Natalie, before
Practical
I ask
application.
It is trusting yourself
You know what?
and your intuition. But for those of us who are just getting new into this or wanting to be more conscious, how do you know the reals from the, I'll just say it, fakes? How do you differentiate between someone who is genuinely there to assist you in your journey versus someone who's there to take advantage of you in your time of...
I have an answer for that, and you're going to love it.
I am.
And
I love all of your
how
answers
Natalie
mostly.
is a fire extinguisher, because sometimes I can feel, even here with the listeners, that I light fires. I can feel it, like that fire burning within people. And Natalie is an amazing fire extinguisher. I just had
I know,
that
and
thought.
she's ready to share too.
Okay, here's
so.
the answer.
Okay.
Actually, it really doesn't matter. Because
that's
they're all
part
your
of our-
teacher anyway. If
Right.
the voodoo, if the person puts
I knew you
voodoo
were
on
gonna
you
say
and makes you real sick, and then you get well and you didn't die, if you didn't die, that's sometimes when people come to me after suffering or a big, long, traumatic event, I'll go, that is what my teacher would tell me too. I'd go and tell him my whole big story about everything that happened, and this person took advantage of me, robbed me, took my power away, left me high and dry. And he'd say, but did you die? And it's so, I would say at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Follow your heart, follow your bliss, follow your joy, do it until you don't. And when you're done, and if they ask you to drink Kool-Aid, don't.
Well, I did say at the beginning of the show I would ask the human questions. So there you go. What were you wanting to say, Natalie?
So I wanted to say, in this journey, it is a journey. And so learn. Go ahead and partake and tune in to the gurus. And when you reach the same level that they do, and then you creep in your own frequency, your own consciousness, and then you will start to see them as the human that they are. And that's okay. And then you will grow out of that, and then you will understand you are the guru. And the truest gurus are waiting for their students to wake up to that.
Yes. Yes.
That they're the guru, and then they look at their teacher and go, oh, you're the same as me. And they're like, yes, you've got it. You've graduated my class.
Yep.
Go forth and do it.
Yep.
I've noticed that. I don't know if you've also noticed it with your clients, but when they're new and they come and spend time with me and we are going over whatever it is that we're going, they kind of put you on this pedestal.
They do.
Because they haven't seen anyone else in this light, and no one's allowed them to see themselves in this way, see their light. And there are moments that you really need to, I shouldn't say need, you have the opportunity to share with them that this is all inside of them already. And then you get taken off that pedestal, and sometimes they're upset about it, which is part of their experience and their journey anyways. And they go away for a while, but there's this trend that they'll come back and thank you for that time and that experience and how much you taught them. But there is this thing, it's kind of like not just putting on a pedestal, but even people who will find themselves enamored with you, just in awe of you. But all you're doing is being your human self,
right,
showing them what you've learned so that they can learn the things that they're beginning to learn.
Right.
It's so neat, though.
It is so
the
neat.
The whole process.
It's all beautiful. It's all
But
part
we've all
of it.
been there. Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all started with the quote-unquote gurus or spiritual leaders, knowing that in the end, they were just human like us.
I like to bring that up too, though, because the way that we are moving into consciousness, I don't know, and sometimes I think maybe I'm just more aware of it because I'm more aware of it. Maybe things aren't really speeding up and more people aren't waking up. Maybe I'm just more aware of the waking up. The reason why I do like to bring that up and tell people is because I feel like there are quite a few people that have that feeling and have had that thought and are afraid to speak it out loud, for they are afraid it might sound arrogant.
Mm.
And so that is like the permission. So it's not that I'm discounting people's abilities to do spiritual work. I'm not. I see spiritual practitioners. I would consider myself a sort of spiritual practitioner, or a person who works with people on spiritual levels that cannot be seen, levels that cannot be understood by the human mind. Things that I do, but it's not that I'm doing it. It's that I'm tapping into this source that we all have unlimited access to. We all do. And some people that are starting to have this realization get nervous about not saying it to the world. I'm not like trying to shut anyone down. It's more about just acknowledge that within yourself, that it's okay to think that. It's okay to embrace that. And it's a scary place to embrace that too, because then that brings you to full accountability and responsibility for your journey. And that in itself can be scary. And I feel like as part of the people's resistance with even saying that, wait, I am my own master. Now I even have more responsibility. Now I have to be even more accountable. Now I have to be even more in integrity. I'm connected to source. Oh, now I've got to walk it, not just talk it. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. Be in it. Be about it. Be with it. Be with yourself. So that's where I come from. I definitely, it's a trippy thing to be tapped into the collective and feel some of the things I say ruffle feathers. Well, know that it isn't me and my opinion and observation. It's what I say in the moment because I'm one with the collective, and when I tap into the collective, I say it in a way that people can understand. And it's love. And sometimes there's that misinterpretation. I make a joke when Jesus comes back here and the second coming happens, he's going to say, that's not what I meant. 5 words, that's it. He's going to come down from the heavens and say, that's not what I meant. That's all I got.
Why is that so funny?
It's just good.
Dude, it's so good.
I think it's because we know how she feels about
smiling
Jesus.
out loud.
I love Jesus, man.
She loves Jesus.
That's what ruffled people's feathers last night in class. Oh, boy. Say Jesus is bound to ruffle feathers. You know what, though? I do it. That's expansion. That's expansion. If one word can create that much uncomfortability in people, it's like that word has so much power to raise awareness, consciousness, to get people to expand. Sometimes sometimes people have to completely decompose. The seed has to crack before the seedling comes out, right? That egg has to crack before that little chicken comes out. It's like, it's got to crack at some point. And if I can crack it with one word, yo, Jesus.
It's 2 words.
He's my brother. I love him. Oh my gosh. He's my brother. I love him and Jesus all in one. Dang.
Why do
That's
you
what
think
I call,
people
like, the
get so
flamethrower.
ruffled? Why do you? Is it because of
I would
they
say
take it as a religious aspect?
Right.
Dogma.
I think it would be that
Dogma,
that
yeah.
experience with a dogmatic Jesus, or the organization structure that represents Jesus, not understanding the teaching. So that's like, go to a source. Go to the purest source you can. So if someone's speaking and they're a motivational speaker, what were their source informations? Many books, the bibliography is where the gold mine is. Look at the bibliography. Look at what were the books they mined to get their book put together. Those types of things expand. And just trust yourself. You'll know.
I would also say muscle test for those of you that are raising the consciousness scale. If you're into kinesiology at all, if you're into muscle testing at all, you can't muscle test into the future, but you can definitely muscle test what a frequency of something is that you're partaking in: music, food, people, environments. And if that frequency is not the frequency that you wish to reside at, either bump it up, raise the roof, blow the roof off that place, But it definitely is easier to maintain center around other people that are in their center and around healthy people and healthy places and environments, I think. But you know what? Master could walk amongst all the chaos and remain centered. So I'm working on that. I'll let you know when I get there. I am, man.
One thing I
It's a
really
bold
adore
statement, but,
about
I am.
when she gets information, she's like, dude, check this out. And she gets so excited, does this little happy dance, and we just giggle and love it. And it's good. I cannot even begin to describe in words the gratitude I have that you two are seriously my closest girlfriends. I am so blessed beyond words. So blessed.
Me too.
And that everyone remembers you in chat. We're talking about you right now. You're the numbers lady.
The numbers lady.
Everyone will remember the numerology stuff.
I think I'm going to bring that to Vibes through the summer.
Oh,
I think I'm going to bring some numbers experiences to Vibes.
We talked about that. It's good. Numerology is really fun stuff.
Oh yeah, it's powerful. Tools are powerful.
Powerful. That brought me to a lot of peace, actually.
The numbers. Yeah.
Natalie told me my life path number. I was like,
so good.
chaos is in my life path number. Change, because I burn everything to the ground and I move a lot, and people had given me a hard time, and it really helped me to
the validation
to receive that, because I didn't ever feel like something was wrong.
You're right where you're meant to be, always. Thanks for being here, ladies.
Thank you.
It's been fun having you back, and of course we'll have you back again because it's just meant to be. And I love it. I love spending time with you. And our listeners love it too. So thanks again. Thanks for being here. You guys, awesome. Soul Wanderings, right? I love it. Soul Wanderings is so cool. Next week, we'll be spending time with Crystal Tracy. She's the founder and owner of Thoughtfire. And she's visited us in the past. And since then has written her first book, which has been newly released. It's called Hopeless to Limitless. From Yes Ma'am to I'm Worth a Damn. And we're going to chat about it. I just got done reading it. It's a short read. It's a good read. And it brought up a lot of things for me. And I can't wait to dig in. So I hope you guys join us next week for another Thoughtful Wandering. Want to know more about the show and upcoming guests? Make sure you guys go to soulwanderings.com. You can also connect to all of the social media platforms there. And make sure you guys are following KGRA Radio on all the social media platforms as well, like Facebook, OnStellar, YouTube, all of that good stuff. Share with your friends and family. Let's have that conversation where we talk about the good stuff, the truth, the yummy, deep conversations that we love having. Thanks again for being here, everyone. And a big shout out to Rayce, my producer. You are amazing. I couldn't do this show if you weren't producing it, so thanks. And happy day, everyone. Good night.